So I'm back at the road we got picked up at yesterday. Highway 55. This is Trail Day 45. Wednesday, July 29th. It's 8 o'clock. And there's a stump in my way already. So I'm still slack packing, but I am using my new pack today. It's got all my gear in it. It's just I do not have the food. So we're running a little lighter than normal, but heavier than we've been doing for the last 2 days. And we're going to try this thing out and see how it works. So the goal is to try to do like a 14-mile day, but we'll see how that goes. Not too far in, got a little view of a lake down the power line trail. So far the new pack's feeling pretty good, but we don't have a half a mile yet, so things tend to change. So I'm sure we'll have to fiddle with the adjustments and stuff, but I think it's going to work better than the old one, so that's an improvement. So we're like a mile and a half in. Our next stop we're coming up on is Nuclear Lake. I'm going to check that out. The pack so far is feeling pretty good. It's definitely an improvement over the old one. Of course I don't have it fully loaded down, but it's fairly close. And this terrain's kind of up and down. Have not had any steep sections yet. It hasn't been exactly flat. But the hip belt's holding, so that's a plus. And we got the biggest tree coming up today too. The guidebook says it's 20 foot 4 inches, something like that. So the AT run in right there where you see the blazes, maybe. I'm not sure which way it goes. I would assume that way. But I'm gonna walk down here to the lake. This is Nuclear Lake. It's 9 o'clock. So we're making good time, even though we're not rolling with a 5-pound pack. I think the trail's going to kind of go around this lake, so not sure why it's called Nuclear Lake, but that's the name of it. No camping, no fires. Doesn't say anything about swimming one way or the other. So I kind of went around and just following the lake for a little bit. We got a little view spot here. It's not too bad. We should be getting close to the, I believe it's the Pioneer Telephone Shelter. So I'm going to stop there and take a little break. It's about 11 o'clock. That's a nice shelter sign. It says it's .1, so we'll go check it out. So there were people at the shelter, so I didn't video, but it's just a simple AT shelter, not much to it. And the water source is dried up, so we're going to go about another half a mile to a road crossing. There's a water source there. I'll stop there, take a pack off break, mix up some Gatorade or something in the water. The Dover tree. That's the big tree. So this is the back side of the Dover tree. I took a short break on that log and got word that there is a food truck just past the train station 2.5 miles north. So I can get a cold something to drink. Maybe some food, I don't know. So just past the Dover tree, had a little field walk. Now we're walking the planks again. This is probably pretty muddy at some point in the year, but right now it's dry. The two hikers that was at Nuclear Lake for a swim this morning from Georgia, they passed me earlier, and then they were at the shelter having lunch, and they just passed me again at the Dover tree. So I told them about the food truck, and they're all excited about something cold to drink. I think that's just a hiker addiction, and they eat cold drinks. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's cold. Luckily we got across the field. It's still shaded on the side the trail was on. It's not too bad in the shade, but it gets hot out in the open sun fast. This new Osprey's pretty creaky. My old one creaked too when I first got it, but it had gotten to where it had pretty much stopped. So probably after about 400 miles, this one will too. but I'm digging it so far. It's been comfortable all day. So the trail, that's the way we're going, and that's southbound. It's been like this pretty much since we stopped going through the field. I can hear the train come in a while ago, so we're not too far from the train station. And a cold drink. It's crazy. The sodas I've been drinking, it's like you just crave sodas, but I finally got to get on the scale yesterday, and since I started in Harper's Ferry, I've lost 30 pounds already. So in 45 days, it's 30 pounds. It's a heck of a weight loss program. So maybe I can lose another 30 before I get to Maine. I lose about 30 more, I'll be about right. Crossing this AT footbridge over this creek, and it says this leads to the railroad station, so I'll be getting a cold drink here shortly. It's a little bit overgrown, but at least it gives shade. So we made it to the train station. It says it's closed, but I had no plans of going into the city anyway. But there it is. The AT to New York train station. If you go a half mile, you got Tony's Deli. They'll let you camp in, or let you camp. I'm going to go up here and take a left and check out this food truck and get something cold to drink. So when you get off the AT there at the train station, you walk down the road, the food truck is over there. So you almost don't see it. But I had a sandwich called the Fish-a-ma-jig. It was pretty good. And 2 teas and 2 canned Pepsis. Sandwich was priced pretty good. I think it was $8. No fries, just a sandwich. But the canned sodas were $1.50 a piece, which is a little high. And then the little was peach tea, or $2 a piece. But when it's hot and you're thirsty, and there's nothing else around, you just gotta go with it, I guess. And I got a couple of cold bottles of water and mixed up a Gatorade. And another hiker there was reading on Guthooks at 5 miles north. There's a cooler. Apparently Trail Angel puts his cooler out in the spot every day. So hopefully there's cold drinks waiting 5 miles away. There's only 6 miles left of our 14-mile day, so the terrain's been extremely mellow, but doing pretty good. I almost have a full load on my pack today, and still going to do 14 miles, so it'll make my third 14-mile day, second day with a pack, or almost a full pack. The last one was coming out of Pine Grove Furnace, and then 2 this week. Well, we gotta walk through this field for a little bit, bake in the sun. This is the next road. There's a tub here. It's got water in it. So I could have saved my $2 at the vending truck, but that'd be alright. And there is the wooden water tower. Yeah, I got about a liter in my bladder, and then 3/4 of a liter of Gatorade I mixed up, so I didn't need water right now. But there's a step missing. Much appreciated, because the water sources that I've been across today have been dry. So if the vending truck hadn't have been there, it would have been slim pickings. You had to get water out of that swampy looking thing back there where the boardwalk was at. I tell you, some of these, I just come over there. Some of these fence crossing ideas are more sketchy than the rocks. Because the way they got those flat, it's easy to climb up one side, but then to go down the other with a pack on, like your pack wants to start hitting at the top before your feet, and there's no room to turn around, to go down it with the pack away from it. But it didn't fall off, so that's all that matters. I have to walk through much of this field and put out my umbrella like I did in Pennsylvania. Wonder if it's a sign, because after the field crossings in Pennsylvania, that's when the rock started. Here we are crossing fields in New York. And then we're ending today on Hoyt Road, I think is the name. That's the first. There's 3 of 3 border lines, New York and Connecticut, so it'll be a new state today. We'll be in Connecticut for the first time. Kinda strange, probably can't see on those posts, it's white blazes. When you get here, there's a split, and these posts have orange blazes. I don't see white ones anymore. So I'm going to guess, since the orange ones go that way, that that's a different trail. Oh, nice breeze. And it's a cool breeze. I've noticed with this Atmos pack, the Ether, it had the anti-gravity suspension, but the mesh was like really fine holes, and the Atmos has like big 3/8 diameter holes, so it gives it a lot more airflow. It was supposed to have orange blazes too. Odd. So your back still gets hot, you're still going to sweat, but I can definitely tell that it feels cooler on my back. This is super confusing. There's no white blazes anywhere. I'll have to look at the Google here in a minute and see where the AT goes. So, for whatever reason, Open Google doesn't show the Appalachian Trail at the moment. But all of these blazes look like they were white at one time, and the AWOL says once you get past the tower, red trail, and then a green trail and a yellow trail. So I'm not sure what's going on. It's the only trail I see, so I'm gonna go with it for the moment. So I'm still following those orange blazes, but I see on a post over by the wood line there's a white blaze. So I have no idea the purpose of the different blazes on the post. Like the old saying goes, all roads lead to Rome. So it appears we're done with our climb. It wasn't too bad. I mean, it wasn't. The trail surface was pretty much like what it is right now. It just came up over a hill. Which hills are never fun in the heat of the day. It's in the mid-high 80s. So cooler than previous days, but it's still warm. But the terrain between, well, pretty much Old New York 55, which is where we got off yesterday. I walked to the new 55, but then the Trail Angels that was picking me up yesterday, their trail magic was in the woods over at the old 50, so I just walked like the 0.3 back to the old one, and then started at the new one this morning. But the terrain's been nice. Couldn't ask really for better terrain. I could ask for a little bit cooler air temperature, but it's just that time of year, the end of July, which I've heard from several local people that it normally does not get this hot. I guess I brought the southern heat with me when I came. I have no idea. It knew I wanted to get away from it. It's like, no, you're not either. But yeah, so far when I put food, my electronics bag, and my cook kit back in my backpack, that's like 4 days worth of food, and then the cook kit and electronics. I'll probably be looking at like 10 pounds heavier than right now. I don't know what it weighs. I'm gonna weigh it this afternoon before I put the food back in it with the cook kit and everything, and see, just out of curiosity, what the weight is. I'm gonna guess it's somewhere between 27 and 32, but I could be wrong. It could be less than that, because I was at 33 on my fish scale at home, and I sent home a little over 2 pounds, and then I'm probably sending home with my hoodie the AT passport, which it doesn't weigh much, but I've only got a stamp at Kinda Outdoorsy, and Duncannon, I think. All the other places that had stamps were closed, or I didn't go there, like a hostel or a shuttle service. So, I don't know, it was just kind of pointless carrying it around, I guess. It was a cool idea on a normal year, but, and then I always forgot to look to see if where I was going had a stamp. So I'm sending home the passport, the hoodie, a long sleeve Duluth Trading shirt just because it's gotten too big, and my Mora knife. It's one I kept the compass that was on it, but it's one of those I knew from the beginning I probably wouldn't need it. I did use it to modify my camera case, and I would keep it, but with the hip, I had it attached to the hip belt on my old one pack, and with the way the new hip belt does, I can't attach it. So I just don't have like a convenient, accessible place to attach it to, so I'll just send it home. I still got my Swiss Army, so that's more than I need. The scissors and the 2 knife blades, so yeah, the evolution of a through hike. Everybody does it. You bring more than you need. You send stuff home, you get rid of stuff. Although, I think I brought a lot less of the more than I need than what some people do, starting in Georgia. That could be debated. If an ultralighter went through my pack, you'd probably find all kinds of things that they'd say I don't need, even things I use daily. But yeah, it's like right now, there's just a little, and I can feel the cool across my shoulders on this pack. So, my first day with it, I'm really enjoying it. But we'll see how it holds up for the next 1,700 miles, something like that. I think it'll do just fine, but you never know. Everyone's different. Every pack's different. So we are yet again walking the plank. We've been walking this for a few minutes. This is an older one. Some of them is broke in places, so you gotta watch your step. But everything's so dry. The little stream we crossed back there was bone dry. If it wasn't for the delis and the stores that you come across in New York, where you can access things like Gatorade and water, it'd make for some long water hauls or some bad situations with some hikers. I started this morning with 2 liters in my hydration bladder, and because of the food truck where I could access water and the tea, I haven't needed to stop and fill up. I've almost drank the liter that I bought there and mixed up as a Gatorade. That's the only thing about your pack hitting up head level. It's like your head clears stuff, but your pack doesn't. There's the green trail. So we'll be coming up on the next shelter here before long. Getting close to the end of the day. It's almost 4 o'clock. That's a gnarly looking tree. Almost looks like it has eyes and a big funny jack-o'-lantern type mouth. Not sure what happened to it, but that's different anyway. And it's only one-eyed. There's another one over there kind of doing the same thing. So we've been strolling along here pretty good. Been nice and flat. Had a couple of more boardwalks. They were short. It's a little bit cooler in here in the trees. There's a breeze up overhead, so the air is not stagnant and humid. See what I mean? This is what you got for water sources right now. I mean, it's there. I'm sure you could filter it and drink it, but I will pass. I tend to just carry a little bit extra sometimes when it's hot. Because you do run into the water caches, but they're not reliable either. I mean, I don't know what day they come bring them, or something may happen where they can't bring them. Like the trail worker at one shelter back in New Jersey, that put all the jugs in the bear box. He said he put them all up there, and then like the next night a big Boy Scout troop come through and just emptied all the water. The terrain's still good, but been booking along, starting to get a little tired, ready for a break. I was hoping to get to the shelter or something that I could reference and know my mileage, but I'm just guesstimating at the moment. It's funny, once you go around the mountain to a different sun exposure, it's hotter. We were cruising on the side, the sun was on the other side of the ridge, so it was all shaded. It had been all day, so it was cooler. So there was trail magic at the road crossing. There would be, and several hikers were there. So, but we had like a mile and a half from there. There was probably a half a mile already. So had a little climb, and now it's all downhill. So we made it there 14 miles, and it's 5:30. We'll be done in like 15 minutes. So, good day. New pack did well. It's comfortable enough. I take it off when I stop. I don't feel like, oh, I gotta get this thing off. That may change the day after tomorrow once I got a full load of fuel, food and all that in it. We'll just have to see. But as of right now, I think it's good to go. I can see the roof of the last shelter. If there's nobody there, I'll record it, but we'll see in just a minute. And a nice fire pit. Tent pads. Not bad. This is the Wiley shelter. Kind of cool. The shelter has a hand well pump because the water source is dry. Hopefully the well's working. You can tell from today, if it doesn't start raining, water is going to get scarce in New York. Maybe Connecticut too, I don't know. I may have to carry less food and more water. So the sign said that the bridge was out due to structural issues and to take a road detour. Don't try to ford due to dangerous water levels. And the trail looked well traveled and well maintained. And considering the rain, I'm not sure if this is the bridge, but I don't think high water levels is a worry. And it looks like a good bridge. I don't see a problem with it. If that's the one that's... But I'd rather walk through the woods than on pavement. It's a mile through the woods or a mile and a half on the road. So we're not getting a certificate for this anyway, so. So we're almost to the parking area. Have less than a mile. And we'll be done with our 14-mile day. And so that's it for today. We'll resume again tomorrow. I have to go and ship some stuff off either in the morning or tomorrow afternoon, so I'm looking at doing about 8 miles tomorrow. Which isn't too bad. No, this is the bridge that's closed. I'd definitely say it has a structural issue. It'd probably hold me up, but I'm gonna stay my butt off of it. If I'd have came down here and this was a raging river, then I would just go back and walk the road, but that is not the case by any means. And there's a nice little rock crossing right here, so. But this is the best water source I've seen all day. If I wasn't about to get off the trail, I could just plop right there. And there was a nice camp spot on the other side. So, yeah, if it's been raining heavy or something, I would say avoid it. It has not rained lately, so. We unofficially took the official, unofficial route.